Hi, I'm Matt Mahler with MovieWeb. It's a pleasure to speak with you about this. Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, it's a great idea put together in a vibrant, zany, and fun way. The show's inspired, by Lakers owner Jeanie Buss, who I was watching her speak with Rich Eisen the other day, and she was saying this idea of a comedy about her life had been floating around for like 20 years. And even the key art, the poster for Running Points, is like this reference to her book cover, Laker Girl. A lot of neat parallels. How much did you work with her, and how much is literally her life?
Well, she's definitely a big inspiration. She and she and Linda Rambis, who's her second in command at the Lakers and her best friend of 40 years, 40 plus years probably. And they could not have been more generous with their time and their ideas and they opened the doors to us at the Lakers facility and at Lakers games, and they gave us so much access. So like that practice facility is really inspired by the way the Lakers practice facility looks. Like everyone, has their offices overlooking the court, and you could just be, in your office on a phone call with someone from, Nike arguing about advertising dollars, and then open the window and start yelling at LeBron to make his free throws. Like, so we wanted it to feel like it is that type of mix of executive and players coming together. And then Jeannie just gave us hours of her time just so we got the vibe of what it's like day to day, just what do you deal with on a day to day? Do you deal with player travel? Do you deal with trades? Do you deal with advertising? Do you deal with getting tickets for players' wives? And then she, let us know, like, a little bit of like emotionally what it's like to be the daughter of Jerry Buss and to be the daughter of this larger than life figure who then takes over the team and has brothers who maybe want the same thing. And to be a woman in the first ever woman going into owners meetings and getting the cold shoulder from a lot of them. And so nothing we then Ike and Mindy and I, all like to just give it our own comedic spin. So definitely inspired, but nothing is exactly, uh, an exact replica.
It's interesting. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned her father and the whole bus empire, and it could have been like a basketball succession. It could have been, I mean, there's this King Lear thing of, the father dying this empire with his children. And in real life, there is this drama with Johnny and Jim Buss against Jeannie and, different things. Uh, but this is a much warmer and friendlier sort of approach. Was it intentional from the jump to just avoid the kind of rich empire backstabbing drama sort of thing and just make it hard comedy?
Yeah, I think we wanted to be true to sort of in our opinion, like how it might play out in real life if Cam, the oldest brother, just gives the presidency to one sibling and not the others. There might be there would realistically most of the time be conversations and maybe even a power struggle. And so that's in there, right? That's in the first couple episodes. But at the same time, you nailed it. We didn't want to make that a well we kept going back to. We felt like it was just like they do it once. Ultimately, this family loves each other, and so they're going to do it once. They're going to get it out of the way, and then they're going to, mostly work together the rest of the season. I mean, there's still siblings who fight, which is a lot of the fun because you can be so mean to your family members and then the love will always just inherently be there. So yeah, we didn't want to like draw it out all season. We feel like we have a lot of stories to tell and we can always find a different angle to create conflict.
Ted Hanks, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, there's this kind of easy way to point and make fun of people, the sort of Hollywood spectacle thing that's exploitive, but you treat him sort of like he seemed very real and funny. He's a funny guy from the interviews I've seen with him on like Adam Friedland. Where did that come from, and what was that like?
Yeah, I think honestly, our casting director, Kim Coleman, we had a call with her, and Kim's amazing. She did Hustle, the Adam Sandler movie, which is one of the big reasons we wanted to work with her. And she said, now for Travis Bug, are you looking for like a Chet Hanks type? And I think Mindy goes, we're looking for Chet Hanks specifically. So it was the kind of idea that was born from there. And then Chet put himself on tape, and it was just it was similar with Fabrizio Guido, who plays Jackie. Like, just you see an audition and you're just like, oh, no one's going to beat that. And then you watch however many more auditions, you're like, no, no one even came close. Like, there can be, for a comedic actor going out for a role like Travis Bug, it can get broad, but Chet is so grounded and sincere, and just, I mean, he said when we met with him, he's like, I'm like, if I don't get this role, like I will never like get any role because this like was written for me. Yeah, and he's also a great improviser, and was super prepared and took the job so seriously. And yeah, and I think everyone's going to see a lot more of him going forward.
Interesting. Yeah. It works
Mhm.
perfectly here. Sometimes people just need a role that's in line with them to show others what they can do.
Yeah.
I want to circle back on Running Point, but I am such a big fan of your political humor, Maximum Truth, and especially The Oath, which I think is one of the defining films of the first Trump administration. And everything old is new again. Long live the king.
Yeah.
Are you sharpening your pen to write anything about this absolutely soul-crushingly awful hell? And
Yeah.
is it too depressing or too new to be satirized right now?
That's a good question. I have not thought of it. Um, I haven't figured it out yet. I think, Ike called me when he had the idea for the oath, and he wrote it really fast. And I called him when I had the idea for Maximum Truth, and I basically had every scene in my head, and we wrote that thing really fast. So like, it's like for us, like when its story breaks easily, like that's when we end up probably making it. Like with Running Point, all of the stories came to us pretty easily. Like, it wasn't like a grind. We weren't throwing out stories and getting 90% there, then thinking, oh, none of this works, and starting over. Um, but I don't have the take on this political time we're in right now. I've just probably been too consumed with like moving out of my house and moving back into my house for the LA fires, and promotion of this show. And yeah, it hasn't sunk in what we're going through yet.
Uh, no, um, well, I'm glad you're safe after
Thank you.
LA.
Yeah, I was fine. I was not in real danger, but it was just, stressful for everyone in LA.
Yeah. Speaking of Maximum Truth, that was your feature directorial debut, but that was originally going to be Happy Life, which seems great. There hasn't been any word about it since like 2019. Is Happy Life dead?
Um, you never know. I mean, you never know. It took 6 or 7 years for Central Intelligence to get made, and Ike and I are doing a animated show at Netflix right now, based on something we wrote, I think, in about 2008. Um, so things always come back around. Happy Life had a couple of great actors attached right before COVID, and so and then they took on something, and then COVID started. So you never know. It could come back, but I have not looked at it in a while. But it was a fun idea.
It- and I read yesterday that John C. McGinley is joining this HBO series with Steve Carell about an author and his daughter.
Yeah.
Are you still producing that? And do you have any juicy, newsy scoops you could share at all?
Yeah, I am. I'm a writer on that. I think I'm
Oh,
a
great.
co-VP. I don't know. Yeah, I'm doing it with the great Bill Lawrence and Matt Tarsis, who is the showrunner, and a great group of writers. And it's been really fun. It basically thinking of ideas for like Steve Carell to be doing it in a college setting, while he's kind of this visiting professor who doesn't quite fit in this highly intellectual world. He's kind of a blue collar guy who's just trying to like help his daughter put her life back together after a big event. It's been really fun. John C. McGinley is so much fun to write for. He plays this sort of like well-meaning but obtuse, physical fitness obsessed dean or president of the school, and he befriends Steve Carell, even though Steve might not want him as a friend. And Phil Dunster is going to be a professor there as well from Ted Lasso. And it's been really great to work on so far. But I don't think I can give any juicy details away
Oh,
yet.
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, that's my time.
Okay.
Steve Carell is so great. I
Yeah.
mean, imagine, is this, are we going to see more of his dramatic side, or is this hard comedy like Running Point, bringing it back before I leave?
This is hard comedy, like Running Point. Bring the jokes.
All right.
Now
Perfect.
they're saying comedy forward. That's the new term.
Oh, comedy forward. Okay. All
There you go.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
comedy forward.
Comedy forward. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
sure. Thanks.
Have a great week.
You too.